On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
And Madison, I'm wearing green today because green is the color of money.
Love. What's making you do that?
I've recently come into some.
Okay, let's hear it. And can you share?
Yeah, girl. I take care of my girl. You know I'd take care of you. I was up in the Bay Area in San Francisco, Northern California, to celebrate my nephew Leo's 3rd birthday.
Yes.
You already know this, but GEOFFFFFFFFS getting from here to California is an adventure. It's usually you've got a layover or something going on. The flights are very, very limited to get from Nashville, both to any of the LA airports, to any of the Bay Area airports. And
now that Spirit Airlines isn't flying anymore, I know they were your favorite
of all time because I do have a death wish. No, but I had to do a layover both on the way there and the way back. The way there, it was just like a 40-minute layover in Ontario. No big deal. But then on the way back, I had to stop through Las Vegas. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and have a burrito from the airport. Risky choice anyway. But there was nowhere to sit. But they have, at the Vegas airport, they have slot machines everywhere. So I sat down at one of the slots and I didn't want to get in trouble for just sitting there. So I'm like, I've got a $5 bill. I'm throwing it in. I put it into the machine. Immediately, first spin, boop, do 175 bucks.
What was the machine?
You know what? I took a picture of it. I immediately cashed out. I've never seen one of these. Oh no, it was a buffalo. It was the buffaloes.
Okay.
You know where it goes, buffalo?
No, but we will because we're going to Vegas
next week. And so I won and I was like, I'm not in it to win it, baby. I'm like, I already won. So I cash out. Smart. I go to the little cashier. She hands me the cash and then I get on my plane. It's like, see you later.
That is so exciting. I wish every airport had slot machines. Also, you can smoke, right?
Oh, yeah. And I wish that I had some with me.
Yeah.
Or I wish they sold Lucy's or something because I would have just loved to have one.
You would have missed your flight.
Just sitting in there, just fucking ripping darts. Big money.
Wait, speaking of ripping darts, what about the lady sitting next to you on the plane?
Oh my God, I told you about this, you guys. There was like this very tan mom-esque character. She's this probably anywhere between 40 and 60-year-old blonde woman. Mystery. And I had heard her standing behind me. Yeah, I know. You should have seen her. She was standing behind me. And I knew I would like her anyway because like she was kind of talking like this.
Yes.
Behind me in line. And that's what made me first. I turned and looked at her and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like she's drunk. Right. And so, of course, she's sitting next to me. And during the flight, she kept leaning down.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is she doing? Because she was moving around she ordered a vodka. She's moving around very erratically the whole time.
What was she wearing? I just got to see like a mental.
She was just like a cute Orange County looking lady.
Okay.
You know, she's wearing jeans and a shirt.
And a sky top.
She has her Louis Vuitton bags.
Yeah.
And she keeps leaning down. And at the end of the flight, I realized she had been ripping on a fucking Geek Bar, her vape, like hitting her vape on the flight. And I'm like, oh my God. See something, say something. I didn't, but allegedly.
Yeah, that all allegedly happened. And also, you're not a snitch.
I'm not a cop and I'm not a snitch. And so I see her doing that. But I did get nervous because she was still doing it like as we're landing. And I'm like, please don't let it like set something off and they're like, sir? Like imagine. I was like, what if she just blamed me or like threw hers in my bag or something? And then I'm like, it wasn't me.
I can't believe they don't have. Well, actually, I don't know. Do you think they have cameras on airplanes?
That's what I was wondering.
I feel like they should. With all the technology, how are we in this vessel that has no cameras?
Well, girl, it was Southwest. There's not a lot of technology.
Don't say that. Southwest is a tried and true airline.
She's classic, but she's basic. Like she's giving nothing. She's like, okay, get on and I'm going to get you there.
And that's all we can ask for,
That's all we can ask for.
Like with something like a Spirit Airlines or a Frontier, seems like they'll get you there. But it's maybe the other people who are on it might fight you. You know what I mean?
You might get it. I've never done a Spirit Airlines. I never had the opportunity. Rest in peace to them.
I know, same. It also seems like a little bit of a scam, allegedly. Like,
well, we don't have to say alleged. What are they going to do? See, they don't even exist anymore. Yeah, I think it was a thing where they're like, okay, so you're not going to have a door. And for each bag, we're charging you $900. I think it was like you're really doing a pay your way type of situation. It was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, actually. It was an MLM. Oh, my gosh. Okay, wait. I have something to tell you. I may be purchasing a hearse.
Really?
Yes. I know, like I've told you before, like I would love to own one. And a friend found one for me on Facebook. And I don't have Facebook, so they're messaging for me. So I have been having them message the person. And then also I was like, I can't do a purchase without my brother because my brother knows everything about cars.
Yeah.
So I got on the phone with him and he's going to go with me to look at it.
When?
Well, I have to see what the guy says who's selling it. Okay, it is a white 1985 Oldsmobile hearse.
Okay, wait, I need to look.
Let me send you the listing.
Send me the listing. I want to see it.
Okay, so blue velvet interior, blue curtains.
Oh my God, love.
It's beautiful. It has the Landau bars on it.
Oh, it says sold.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're lying. We just messaged the guy last night. We just messaged him last night.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so good too.
Wait, I have to message. Hold on. I literally was on a phone call with my brother and everything last night.
Okay, wait, I love the interior and I really hope that it's not actually sold. Or maybe
I know. There's new AC, new tires. The only thing wrong with it is that there's rust on the doors. So I got on the phone with my brother last night. He's going to go with me to look at it. And then I was thinking maybe it would be like a daily driver, but my brother's like the 70s and 80s. Like the 80s are the oldest like the newest I'll go for a hearse. But he's like, okay, the 70s and 80s, like there's different mechanisms in the car that makes it obviously a little bit newer and it won't break down as much. But he's like, I just need you to know that it will break down at some point and you need to be prepared for that. So maybe it's not your daily driver. And I'm like, okay, but I don't really drive that much. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the guy says. We've been messaging him.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to see.
I know.
Oh my God. Fun.
Hopefully it's not sold or maybe it's, who knows?
Maybe it's a gift. Maybe someone just bought it for you.
Okay. Well, if it's not that, then we're still looking.
Yeah,
we're still on the hunt.
We're finding her. I mean, I have been telling you need a new car. This isn't exactly what I had in mind. I can't get mad because it's a hearse.
I feel like it's good for business, Put a little obituary logo.
You have to.
I know.
You have to get like a personalized license plate.
I know.
GEOFF.
Wait, why is it sold?
I don't know.
That's crazy that we just caught that on air because I literally was looking at it before we started. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I thought that was like obituary news.
Oh, that's major obituary news. I would love that. I've been looking a lot at, because, we both have talked about classic cars that we want.
Uh-huh.
I've been looking, but I'm also like, one, we have a wedding to pay for, and two, we need to buy a house.
Yeah.
Those are the
100%.
two investments that I need to make first and figure out. I'm like, I obviously we look at houses here, but then I also like every once in a while I'm like popping in like in LA, just like
Oh,
not
come
LA.
back.
I would never live in LA, but I would live in, I'd
Yeah.
move back to where we lived. And
Come back.
the best house I have ever lived in was that Spanish. I mean, my last house was cool, but the Spanish house that I lived in with the pool was just the best.
I know. I was talking to Alyssa because I saw her last week.
Uh-huh.
She said something like, oh, I miss them so much. Oh, I don't think they're ever going to come back. She said something like that, like, because she loves Nashville. She sees how much you guys love it.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't think they're going to come back. And I'm like, yeah, they are. I know they are. I feel it in my bones. They will. Give it a couple
I wish
years.
we had on camera the day I told you I was moving.
Well, that was dirty. Talk about a surprise. You said, I'm just going to come. I have to drop my dad off at the airport. So I'm just going to come and like hang out with you. And I'm like, okay. And then you're like, hey, we need to talk.
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
I know. I'll probably be. I flip flop because there's like part of me that's like, okay, I've had enough. I'm ready to go home now. I'm ready to go home. This was fun. This was fun, but I'm not so sure. No, I love it. Actually, we did drive past a house that's for sale today. That is so cute. But the price is making hard. That's the one thing I will say, because it's like truly to live anywhere that like I would want to live down there, it's like gonna cost almost twice as much as here.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. But who knows? Nothing's forever.
Nothing's forever. I don't think you're leaving anytime soon. But
We don't know. Cut to next week. I'm like, girl, I'm moving home. I bought your house.
I'm glad you have that heard.
I'm your landlord. But I am really excited we get to see each other next week in Vegas.
Girly girl.
We're going to be out in the fucking wild. We're going to see No Doubt for our friend Alyssa's birthday at the Sphere, which I'm so excited for.
I'm so excited. Do you think I'm going to get nauseous with the Sphere?
I'm going to have you take a Zofran.
Okay.
I'm going to have you take a Zofran and we're going to be raging. We're going to be partying.
Last time I was in Vegas, I ate a sandwich out of a trash can.
Was that your bachelorette the last time you were there?
You're right. My bachelorette was the last time I was there. And
you did eat it. I think. Oh, no. Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Terrible time in my life.
Well, it was terrible how drunk I got. And I was not nice to one of my bridesmaids. And I had to apologize. Remember?
It was like, there was a fight in a van.
It was very Real Housewives.
It was very Real Housewives.
And I was way out of line.
I'm going to send right now, Austin, a picture of us in Vegas because I want everyone to see how young we were.
Oh my God, young and beautiful.
Young and blonde.
Before life just fucking
wrecked
did
us.
Its thing, girl.
Fucking killed us. But it's going to be so much fun. We're going to be there all weekend. It's going to be a good time. I want slots. I want cigarettes.
I want booze.
I want room service.
I want a strip club.
Fuck it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I want a limo.
Okay.
I want a limo to the strip club.
Let's do it.
Girl, I want to get fucked.
Oh my God, fun. And my sister's going to be there too with her husband.
No kids.
No kids.
Oh,
and so
I want to take a shot with her.
Anyway, I'm so excited. I can't wait for the recap.
I know. The recap is going to be wild.
We start the show.
I get my nipples
Welcome back.
pierced.
You're bald. We start the show and it's like, welcome back to Obituary.
I'm in jail. I'm recording from inmate.
I had to sell the hearse to pay my bond.
I leveraged my house at the table. The mob is after me.
Oh my God.
God, I don't even have a house.
Your landlords are going to be pissed.
Okay, let's get to business.
Let's get to business. You got a listener email?
I sure do. Today's just a day because my iPad's not working.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so we're on. I just keep
Borrowed
getting
time.
slapped. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Spencer and Madison. Longtime cult babe and Geoff here from the backwoods of North Carolina. Hell yeah.
Woo!
I have a hilarious story for you guys, and if you read it on the pod, I'll die. Feel free to use our names so I can have bragging rights and send the episode to all my friends.
Rest in peace.
Yes, mama. Oh, yeah, because she's going to die.
She's going to die.
Confused. A couple years ago, my best friend's Nana was at her doctor's appointment. They began discussing treatments. She said, I'll try anything, but I will not do scissoring. I tried that before and it didn't work. Oh. To which the doctor replied, scissoring? And she said, yes, no scissoring. Her daughter, Angel, was there and obviously very confused, along with the doctor, until finally one of them said, are you talking about dry needling? Yes, she was talking about dry needling. I guess she'd forgotten the term, and scissoring is what came to mind.
What?
I love that. When my friend Taylor told me the story, I nearly peed my pants laughing.
Oh my
I
God.
love the pod and hope you guys do a live show in Charlotte, North Carolina one day because I'll absolutely attend. I hope y'all got a kick out of this story like I did. Much love, Reagan. P.S. My uncle is a mortician and my mama's house was haunted. So I've got some good stories if you ever want to hear them. Yes.
Girl, send them in.
Send them in. I mean, I don't know if anything will beat the scissoring, but
No. I love just like a innocent mix up like that.
I know I've told this before, but one of my best girlfriends, we used to work together, and she came to work and was like, my husband's getting circumcised today.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, what? He is getting circumcised today?
A little late. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay. Like, that's, you know, his body, his choice. That's fine. But like, I wouldn't go around telling people that, right? She's like, yeah, no more kids. No more kids. And I'm like, oh, you mean he's having a vasectomy? And she's like, yeah, wait, what did I say? I'm like, you said he's getting circumcised. And she's like, fuck, how many people have I told he's getting circumcised?
Oh, God.
God,
Crazy.
love it.
Okay, well, I'm really excited because I have an update to Am I the Jerk that I believe was from last week.
Okay.
And it was the one where the guy and his wife were in an open relationship and he had seen the girlfriend that he was dating.
Okay.
Remember, she said that her husband was dead and then he saw them out together?
Yes.
Okay. He confronted the guy. Because remember, he was
way.
asking, like, what should I do? Like, should I just ghost her or should I, like, tell him, you know?
Yes.
And so he said, well, I didn't think at all it would be this soon. A lot of people told me I should tell the husband, and honestly, I didn't think I would. I wanted to just disappear from the situation and move on, but life handled it for me this morning. I saw him alone at a coffee shop before work. I walked up to him and said, hey, how'd you do it? And he looked confused and said, do what? And I said, come back from the dead. At that point, he just stared at me completely lost. So I sat down and explained everything. I told him what she had told me, that she said he had passed away, showed me his picture, and that we had been seeing each other for months. Turns out this wasn't even close to the first time she cheated. He told me there had been affairs in the past, and apparently one of the kids might not even be biologically his because of it. He said she promised she was done with all that, but I guess this time she escalated into literally pretending he died. The guy was obviously upset, but weirdly enough, he wasn't angry at me. He actually apologized to me for what she did, which made me feel awful because he's clearly been dealing with this for years.
Yeah.
I told him he didn't owe me an apology at all. We exchanged contact info because they're dating now.
Yeah.
I set him up with my wife, and it says we exchanged contact info because I saved all the messages where she talked to me about him being dead, and he said he may need them later if he goes through with filing for divorce. Honestly, the whole thing feels insane and sad now. Dude, I hope he divorces his wife because she's fucking nuts.
Yeah. That's low. That's low to lie.
Low.
It's giving Scott Peterson. Remember
Yeah.
he lied about Lacey saying like, yeah, she died before she was dead.
Yes. There was an episode of Cult Leader I did recently, and I think it was, oh God, A Woman Scorned was the name of it. There was, which is also the name of the Betty Broderick movie. We'll talk about her later. This was a woman, and there's a wonderful 90s made-for-television movie on Lifetime. Might have even been 80s, starring Park Overall. And she plays a woman. It's a true story. And this woman's husband was having an affair with his secretary.
Okay.
And he ends up leaving his wife for the secretary. She sues the husband or the mistress. She sues the mistress.
Love.
Which is legally, I think it's allowed in like 7 or 8 states where you can sue the mistress, and she won. She won like $1 million.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I love it. Okay, and then we have an Am I the Asshole that says, would I be the asshole if I let my little sister go to her class field trip instead of our dad's funeral?
Okay.
It's this very complicated medical situation that I don't want to get into all that deeply. But to summarize, on Monday, my dad received medical assistance in dying due to a painful terminal illness he was diagnosed with. While we had a more lighthearted celebration of life sort of thing before that, and a lot of his loved ones were around surrounding the actual procedure, some of my family felt very strongly about also holding a more traditional open casket funeral. And so that will also be happening this Friday. My sister's, she's 5, kindergarten class is going to the zoo that same day, and somehow with everything going on, it has been left to me, 20, to ultimately take her to one or the other, with my family being very split. She is begging to go to the zoo, and while I feel crazy saying I'm even considering, when she says why she doesn't want to go, her reasons make sense, mainly being that he won't be there / we already said goodbye. That is sort of how I feel about this whole thing. While my dad explicitly said he didn't want to discourage anyone from holding any sort of funeral that we felt was right, this whole thing just doesn't feel at all like him in the way the things we did while he was still alive did. And honestly, I feel really freaked out at the thought of it being open casket. I don't want to go see him like that, nor do I really want my baby sister to, especially when she's saying she doesn't want to go. But I don't know. I worry that I'm just not thinking straight, and that's why I think it'd be okay to let her not attend. Give it to me straight, Reddit.
I think the little sister kind of sounds healthy in the like, well,
yeah,
he won't be
He's
there.
not there. Yeah.
Not like, I don't want to go. I'm scared. I'm going to be sad. I'm going to let her go to the zoo.
Let her go to the zoo. I agree.
You know, maybe she feels closer to him there. Maybe they loved animals together.
Somebody commented and they were like, let her go to the zoo. That's what she needs right now. She needs to go to the zoo. And I agree with that. I'm like, she was with him for his departure. She was around during all of this. They did a celebration of life. She doesn't need to go see the open casket funeral.
Yeah. I agree. She sounds like a healthy little girl, and it sounds like they did like a death with dignity type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't need to go to a funeral.
Let her go to the zoo, buy her one of those hanging monkeys from her neck, and just have fun. I actually, when my sister and her husband were here, we took them to the zoo. I think I talked about that because there was a cemetery there. But I bought Leo one of those Velcro monkeys. I was like, I loved these when I was little.
Oh, I love it.
They were the best.
Yep. So cool.
All right, girly. Well, I'm up first this week, which means that you should have a little side bitch for us.
I sure do. This is from the Fort Lauderdale News. By the way, I started with fingernails and now they're gone.
Where did they go?
I don't know. They fell off. Fort Lauderdale News, Sunday, October 31st, 1982. Stupid, 83, philosopher. Eugene, Oregon. An Irish wake and a potluck dinner has been set for in memory of an 83-year-old self-styled philosopher who went by the name Stupid. Stupid, born Russell Dell, described himself as a revolutionist, Marxian scholar, and dialectician. He died from kidney failure Thursday, possibly from eating wild mushrooms that were poisonous, officials said, which is stupid. Stupid was known as the market philosopher and was an anarchist but a very friendly one, said Dave Bell, a worker at the 5th Street Public Market, where Stupid spent most of time talking, writing, and doing odd jobs. Stupid came to Eugene in 1973 and soon gained notoriety for his pamphlets, including Stupid's comments on everything. The publication included his suggestion for world peace, universal, unconditional, compulsory cannibalism. Damn. Stupid said he preferred his adopted name because it amazes my friends and confuses my enemies.
Girl, that's a Eugene-ass obituary if I've ever heard one.
Rest in peace, Stupid.
Rest in peace, Stupid.
Imagine, like, hi, I'm Stupid.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm like, it's either like a funny, like kind of cool person, or it's like the most annoying person you know. Like, your name's Stupid? Well, I'm glad you asked. Philosophically, blah, blah, blah,
no.
blah, blah. Give me a break, sir. It's the grocery. I'm at Trader Joe's. Move.
Yeah, no, I think he's like funny. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he got in the newspaper.
Hey, and he made it onto the podcast, so we respect it. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, I'll tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week.
Alrighty.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. My nail just fell. What had you spinning in your coffin this week, Spency boy? Cutie booty duty.
My chuni boony boony goony. Thank you.
Chuni.
Thank you, girly chuni. Okay, girly Geoffs, I was bouncing in my coffin this week.
Oh, yeah.
As I learned all about casket jumpers.
What?
Yes, girl. Okay, so this was like a journey to fucking get here. 3 weeks ago, there was this Reddit thread going around. I actually told you about it. I was like, I might do this. And it was posted on the Ask Funeral Directors subreddit because somebody posted, has anyone ever witnessed a funeral outburst, fight, or argument? So, you know, I flew Spirit Airlines to the comments, and they did not disappoint. So let me start there because that's what led us to casket jumpers. I love hearing about just a crazy funeral experience. Those are like my favorite emails that come in from the Geoffs are about. I think every single day of my life, I think about the one about the grandpa with pink lipstick being cranked up in the thing.
Pink lipstick.
Not a day goes by. That's my favorite thing.
That is your saint that you
That's
pray
my
to.
saint. So one of the users commented and they wrote, yeah, my brother and dad had one at my grandma's wake. I distinctly remember hearing my dad saying, do you want the left hook or a right one? And then my brother knocking him out. I was about 10 at the time. Another person commented and they wrote multiple times, had a full-on scrum at Arlington National Cemetery over who got the flag. 5 family members got into a brawl, and the USMC Honor Guard managed to pull everyone off each other while heroically preventing the flag from touching the ground. If I ever write a book about my career, this story will be in it. This one gagged me. They said, oh man, my family has this funeral story that is wild. So my great aunt slapped my great grandfather out of his casket. I mean, the whole thing tipped over. They realized his pants were just placed on him.
No.
By cutting the back and tucking it under. So definitely got a peek of granddaddy's plastic wrapped ass.
Plastic wrapped?
Yeah, they had like wrapped his bottom half in plastic, I guess, and just put the pants over it. This is the story I've heard from several family members, including Aunt Mary, who decided he should not rest in peace. This was in the 70s, by the way, so I'm telling the stories I've been told. The man was a tyrant. According to my elders, he was chased out of Tampa, Florida for witchcraft, he read palms, and beheading his first wife.
Oh, no.
She was found dead with her body in the pond and head on the side of the road. He used to beat her, so people really thought it was him. This was in the late 1800s or early 1900s. They had 6 kids. He remarried as soon as he got to Tallahassee, Florida, and had 7 kids. She went missing. Then he remarried and had 6 kids. She committed suicide when she learned he had an entire family a few miles away. He had 5 kids with his mistress. He remarried and had 2 more kids. And this woman took her kids and ran away. He then married my great-grandmother and had 8 kids. This guy's sperm.
I
is
know.
the most potent I've ever heard. The mother of my great aunt Mary, and he died at 103. He used to starve them on purpose. He tried to sell my aunts for marriage to get money. When he couldn't, he abandoned them at his eldest daughter's house. He was insanely abusive. So when Aunt Mary slapped him out the casket, 2 other sisters joined in, and they were beating this man's soul down into hell. My mom said the church ushers were trying to break up the undead stomping that was happening, and more fights broke out because the brothers were upset that men were trying to apprehend their sisters. My mom said it was the best funeral she ever went to, 10 out of 10. I also went to my uncle's funeral, and the mistress threw himself into the grave, and that's how my aunt found out that her husband had a gay relationship on the side.
Love.
That was wild. All she did was turn around and get back in the limo. It was heartbreaking. So wild. This next one, however, is the one that started this little side journey for me. They wrote, family was feuding before the parents passed away. This is a funeral director writing this. At the visitation, a full-on brawl broke out. Bloody faces, curtains ripped out of walls, furniture broken, and police called. We also had a woman that was a known casket jumper. We had to pull her out of caskets before, but the last time ran interference in the middle of a funeral service. Literally an interference. So I think the woman was running towards it to jump in, and they had to tackle her.
Wait, that's what a casket jumper is?
It's somebody who jumps into caskets.
This is a thing.
Oh, I was like, hold on. Casket jumpers. I was like, is this like sati?
I know.
When women, you know, they jump on the pyres as their husbands are about to be cremated. This is like its slightly less dramatic little sister. And from Google, a casket jumper, it refers to a person, often a relative, who becomes overwhelmed with grief and throws themselves onto a casket during a funeral service. It says this dramatic display of mourning, sometimes necessitating removal by staff, can be linked to intense emotional trauma. And it totally gives me like Moirologist vibes.
Yes.
Just like this over the top, like, oh my God. I tried to find everything that I could. Unfortunately, there isn't too much out there, but they're also sometimes referred to as grave jumpers, where it's a similar concept. And people will like catapult themselves onto the grave of somebody because they're allegedly so overcome with grief. But really, I'm like, you are making it about you. And it feels like something that a character like a Moira from Schitt's Creek would do. Just like this dramatic, over the top display.
Right.
And so I did read several other instances, like little quips here and there, but they were from like Quota or Reddit of people talking about like, yeah, this is a real thing that people will do sometimes. And I just love that there's an actual name for it. Like, I'm going to go jump on a fucking casket.
I know. Like, there's, you know, you hear stories sometimes that are sweet, right? Like, I just wanted to crawl into his casket with him. Like, I didn't want to let him go. Or like, you know, like there's sweet things like that, but like a jumper?
An unknown one who apparently did it at multiple different funerals to the point where they saw her coming and they were like, get her.
Like football.
Like, here she goes. She's here. She's here. Okay, but it makes me, I really would love for us to do an episode on funeral crashers.
You know what? Swear to you on everything, I have some articles.
Let's do a joint. Let's next week do a joint episode on funeral crashers.
Okay. I'll
do my research. Yes. Okay. A spoiler alert for next week. So I was like trying to see more. I'm like, more. Give me more. And there's been people that have been arrested for doing this, but then I was going through the internet, like newspaper archives, because I'm like, there's got to be some stories out there. And these aren't in line, but they do involve caskets and jumping. So there was this article I stumbled upon from March 31st of 1967 in the Dothan Eagle. And it says casket jumper draws 30 more. I'm like, tell me what is going on here. This is Birmingham. Quote, a Kilby prison inmate who escaped by jumping over his mother's casket in 1961 has been convicted of another robbery and sentenced to an additional 30 years in prison. Jesse Gravis Argo, 41, was serving 45 years on 7 convictions when brought here in 1961 to attend his mother's funeral. So I think he got like a leave of absence or whatever from prison to come to his mom's funeral. And then it goes on to say he escaped by leaping over the casket and fleeing. I know. After being arrested in Arizona in 1962 in a stolen car, Argo was sentenced to 10 years in the robbery of a state liquor store. I love picturing, like, already, everyone's looking, right? Like, there's
Someone
Cousin
shackled.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Cousin Jesse's here. He's
Right.
He's coming to the funeral. He's coming to the funeral.
Yeah.
And then they're all watching and they see him just fucking book it.
And that pisses me off too, because that gives such a bad name. Like I was crying, tears in my eyes. Like last week I was watching on TikTok a video of a prison warden who allowed a prisoner to go and say goodbye to their dying father in the hospital. And it's like this heartwarming video of this prisoner shackled with a sheriff or whoever, walking him into the hospital room, the dad who's like on hospice, on his deathbed, getting to hug and, love on his son. And like, it was so heartwarming, right? Like, I don't know what the prisoner did. I don't know any of that.
See, but that's where I've seen things like this before. And then you find out that they like raped and killed 3 women. And you're like, I don't know if you actually deserve that opportunity.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm thinking more so for the parent or like the person visiting, as like a goodbye. But it gives a bad name for they're fucking taken off.
Well, you just got to keep them cuffed, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one actually dates back to 1930, March 24th of 1930 from the Jersey Journal, and it says coffin jumper leaps from casket while on his way to grave.
Oh.
Mexico City, Juan Garcia, 24, a clerk living near Azcapotzalco, a Mexico City suburb, saved himself from the grave, but nearly sent his startled relatives there when he suddenly broke from his coffin while being transported to a cemetery. Following an extremely heavy meal with wine, Garcia suddenly collapsed and a physician pronounced him dead. Oh. Funeral arrangements were made, and inasmuch as burial in Mexico City follows death without delay, the cortege to the cemetery started, and in 30 minutes more, Garcia would have been interred. He recovered, however, to break the lid from the coffin to the terror of the pallbearers and mourners who fled in panic.
Got a coffin jumper from the inside.
From the inside. Okay, and then this last one's so wild. October 18th, 1967 from the Daily Breeze. Quote, not long ago, mourners at the funeral of Anna Baczynski were aghast to see the dead woman jump out of her coffin as it was being carried to the little Romanian churchyard. However, the woman ran across the road yelling and was promptly run over and killed by a car.
No.
Girl, she... Let me out of here!
Had a second chance. Oh.
It was her time.
That was her time.
Yeah.
God was like,
someone wanted her. Yep.
We got a jumper.
God or the devil. One of them. One of them wanted her, and they said, you're coming with us. So
yeah.
Nice try.
Nice try. Fuck. Could you imagine?
Crazy.
Oh,
that
my
is,
God.
No, I can't imagine. That's nuts. That's why I'm getting cremated. There's no fucking second chance here.
I know. The more stories I hear, the more I'm like, well.
Make sure.
Should I? Yeah.
So that was kind of my weird journey that I guess is multiple coffin spinners in ones. We had fights at funerals. We had coffin jumping, and we had people jumping out of their own coffins.
We had a little bit of everything, and I loved it. I love the term coffin jumper.
Yeah, a new one to throw in the old repertoire.
I know. We need to do a book that's just like a dictionary.
Yeah. Yeah. The ABCs of obituary.
Yeah, perfect.
C is for coffin jumpers.
Yeah.
Or a children's book. Oh my God. So I was staying at my dad's house when I went for Leo's birthday. I was like, oh, I'm going to go in the shed and look at things because I just like to do that when I go home. Because there's like
creepy statement.
There's all the things from like our childhood and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, go into my office, take whatever you want. And I had sent you actually a bunch of pictures, but there was this children's book that my dad's mom had.
Oh, yeah.
Der Struwelpeter.
So scary.
I'll send these to you, Austin. And there's all these great stories in there, but she used to read it to me when I was little. And there was one about a boy who sucked his thumb, so they cut it off. And then there was another one about a boy who wouldn't eat his dinner, so he starved to death. And there's like a little picture of like a grave for him. And then there was another story in there. I forgot to take a picture of it, but it was like he leaned down to look in the water, and I think his parents had warned him to stop doing that, and then he drowned to death. Like,
fuck.
Those Germans did not mince words, and they did not fuck around when it came to like those. You're not reading a fairy tale unless it has a lesson.
Yeah.
Which we know from your fairy tale episodes. Remember, like, the true stories? And they're like, it wasn't like the prince kicked her or kissed her and she came to life. It was like she was raped in her coffin after she was murdered. And
yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Fully. Wild.
Nuts. Well, we're going to take one more quick break. And then when we come back, you can tell us what had you spinning in your coffin this week.
All righty.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Madison, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Okay. Got the laptop out, you guys.
She means business.
I mean business, okay? Today, what had me spinning in my casket is actually one of the oldest diseases in the book, and that is leprosy.
Ooh, okay. You know what I think about? I feel like there was an episode about The Simpsons, I want to say.
Oh.
Or, where they had leprosy. I think it was probably one of the Halloween ones or something, like the haunted or scary treehouse or whatever.
Oh, okay. Leprosy is considered, like the term is considered outdated and derogatory today. The proper term is Hansen's disease, and we'll get into all of that in just a minute. But I wanted to cover leprosy.
You're a leper.
I wanted to cover leprosy today because of the funeral aspect tied to it. We've talked about living funerals before on this show. We've covered a ton of examples, and like every time we've covered living funerals, it's been, pretty happy and a joyous occasion and like an opportunity to attend your own funeral and like receive your flowers while you're still alive. However, if you were diagnosed with leprosy in the medieval times, that's like really when it was big. It's still around today, but it was, a big thing. During the medieval times, pre the plague, you also would have a living funeral, but it was not a joyous occasion. It was a ritual meant to separate you from society completely. And it's fucking sad. In some places, you were literally declared dead to the world, but while you were still breathing, you're still alive.
Oh.
Funeral rites were read over you. Dirt may have been thrown on you. You could be forced to leave your family, your home, your church, like your entire community, and spend the rest of your life in isolation. So today, GEOFFs, we are talking about Hansen's disease, also living funerals, leper colonies, and just a really cruel social exile.
Okay.
Kind of similar to executioners, honestly. But before we get into the absolutely horrifying funeral rituals and leper colonies, I want to first just explain what leprosy is. It's one of those things that, like, I always heard growing up. You hear about it in the Bible, which also we'll get into a lot. But leprosy or Hansen's disease is a bacterial infection that mainly affects the skin, nerves, eyes, and respiratory tract. And what's really, really wild is that leprosy is actually not very contagious, which medieval Europe would have been shocked to hear. you know, like it's really not that contagious at all. The disease is caused by a bacteria called Mycobacterium leprae, which I might be butchering. And it spreads very slowly, usually through prolonged close contact over a long period of time. But back then, nobody understood germ theory or bacteria or anything like that, or how a disease even worked. But they did understand fear. Obviously, they were fucking scared. Someone with advanced leprosy or Hansen's disease could have some very visible physical changes.
Oh, I picture like zombies. I picture skin falling off in chunks. Like,
well, that's how they're portrayed.
Yeah.
They're fully portrayed like that. Even in like old medical texts, like it's sad how they're portrayed. But yeah, it could physically change the person a lot, from like really bad skin lesions to facial changes to ulcers to nerve damage, which is something that's really important to talk about with this. You could experience loss of sensation in your hands and feet, which I want to bring up because the loss of sensation is important, because one of the biggest misconceptions about leprosy is that their fingers and noses were just falling off, which I have an example of in an obituary that I'll read in a minute, but that was not what was actually happening. The disease would damage your nerves so badly that people could sometimes no longer feel their injuries. So like someone might burn themselves or cut themselves or develop infections or like repeatedly injure a part of their body without realizing it because they couldn't feel it.
Interesting.
And so over the years, that damage could become really severe, which could lead to like amputations or loss of things. But it wasn't just because the disease was making things fall off, right? Like it was you had nerve damage. But medieval people saw that and were fucking terrified. I read that one of the carriers, and I believe the only like known carrier of leprosy, because I was thinking, I'm like, okay, how did people get leprosy? You know, we know like how the plague started. We're talking about hantavirus a lot right now. Like how did people get leprosy? And one of the carriers of the Mycobacterium leprae is the armadillo.
I see them everywhere. We were just talking about this. I see them dead on the road all the time.
I know, they're carriers. So, and that's how we think it started. So SmithsonianMag.com said, quote, "But before you start to worry about epidemics or making armadillo eradication plans, find comfort in this. Though Hansen's disease, as it is clinically known, annually affects 250,000 people worldwide, it's still a thing, it only infects about 150 to 250 Americans. Even more reassuring, up to 95% of the population is genetically unsusceptible to contracting it, and these days it is highly treatable and not nearly as contagious as it was once believed." So,
got it.
And then it says, and as for armadillos, the risk of transmission to humans is low. Only the 9-banded armadillo is known to carry the disease, and most people in the U.S. who come down with the chronic bacterial disease get it from other people while traveling outside the country, which we're learning, I feel like, a lot about, like with the hantavirus going on. People, I don't know, I see like epidemiologists talk about like pandemics will never be eradicated, or things like this will never be eradicated as people are traveling all over the country. Like it just, or all over the world. It just happens.
I saw people be like saying, people on the boat with the hantavirus or whatever are like, I want to come home. And they're like, baby, you are home.
You are home.
Sink
we have
that
families.
ship.
Yeah, we have families too.
Yeah, girl, bye.
I mean, it's sad. Like, it's no one's fault.
Oh my God, no. But girl, don't you dock that here. Don't bring that shit here. We just had one, girl. I'm not doing another pandemic.
It also doesn't help the misconceptions with leprosy that it is constantly talked about in religious texts, especially the Bible, which reinforce the idea that the disease was somehow tied to sin and punishment and impurity and people being unclean, which is so fucking sad. I hate it. It's like one of the saddest things I've researched, just how these people were treated. The fear around it was super intense. But there were some people who believed that people who suffered from leprosy were somehow closer to God because God chose them to suffer so intensely on this earth that they somehow were going to bypass any purgatory and go straight to heaven, which, okay, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And that like just the misconception of leprosy, like, didn't just stop in the medieval ages. I have a quick obituary I want to read from 1906, and you'll understand it now that I've explained, like, nerve damage. This is from the Topeka Daily Herald, Friday, October 19th, 1906. It says, Virginia leper dead. Pickens, W., Virginia, October 19. George Rashid, a leper, died this morning. Heart failure being the immediate cause. 2 fingers and the top of 1 foot were almost eaten off. It is likely that the body will be cremated. I'm like, eaten off?
Damn.
No, it wasn't eaten off. They probably had nerve damage. They probably were damaging it through their life. For the newspaper to just say, yeah, it was the top of their foot and 2 fingers were eaten off.
But actually, you're a leper and you're just trying to spin this for PR right now. You're just like, it's really not.
It's not that big of a deal, guys.
Oh, look, your nose is gone. That's your fingers falling off earlier.
You know my mom has that armadillo purse.
Yeah.
God.
Well,
maybe that's our problem. Okay, so let's get into the living funerals. If you were diagnosed with leprosy in parts of medieval Europe, you could undergo something called separatio leprosorum, which literally translates to separation of the lepers, and it's fucked up. It's a ritual that essentially was a funeral for the living. It was a symbolic ceremony where a person with leprosy was separated from society and treated like they were dead. And they were considered legally dead after this ceremony. And historians kind of like debate how formalized these ceremonies were, just like depending on the region. But there are many accounts from the medieval period that just describe these rituals. So in some cases, the person would be brought into a church while funeral prayers were read over them. Some ceremonies involved sprinkling dirt onto the individual, like I said earlier, similar to burial rites.
that's so crazy.
It's so fucked up. Other records describe the person standing beside or even inside of a grave during the ritual. And afterward, they would be declared dead to the world, which was fucked up because physically they were still alive.
It makes me think of like how they used to take elderly people and like throw them off of cliffs or like leave them behind, and like the whole town would pack up and move and not tell them.
Like they were lepers,
yeah,
honestly.
Truly.
But they were considered legally dead, so they lost the rights to their estates, to their property, to everything. Because they had a skin disease, a bacterial disease.
That's crazy.
It's so fucked up. I have a little quote from historyextra.com that just explains even more. It says, quote, leprosy was considered to be highly contagious, so the main treatment was containment, which involved isolating the sufferer from healthy people, which after their living funeral, they would have to go to a leper colony, which I'll talk about in a second. But this says, which involved isolating the sufferer from healthy people. Lepers would wear bandages to cover their sores and carried a bell. I read this a lot. They would have to carry a bell to warn people that they were coming. I also read that they... I know.
We'd be like,
fucked.
I'd be like, stop. Everyone can hear your fucking bell, girl.
I know.
I'd be like,
and they
quiet.
Quiet, girl. I know. But they were probably like, so like, fuck, I don't want to be contagious and hurt other people. Like, it's just sad. It goes on to say they weren't even allowed inside churches, which is why many medieval churches had built-in leper squints, holes through which unclean people could watch the services. Even as late as the 1940s, sufferers were banished to colonies or even leper islands. So they would have to watch the church service through a little hole outside.
Damn. And now everyone in that church these days would be like, no, come in. I'm not scared.
I'm not scared. Yeah, come on in. So the places they would have to go would be like a leper colony or something called a leprosarium, which some of the leprosariums seemed pretty heartbreaking. Some seemed to be like their own little world. It just kind of depended on what I read. But in the Middle Ages, leprosariums were all across Europe. Some were run by churches. Some were donated to by super wealthy people, just trying to score brownie points, I feel like.
Yeah.
But they weren't just in medieval Europe either. There were leprosy colonies and quarantine hospitals in the United States too, like later on in the 1800s, including one of the most famous and pretty heartbreaking examples in American history, which is the leprosy settlement at Kaloapapa Leprosy Settlement. In the 1800s, thousands of people with Hansen's disease in Hawaii were forcibly removed from their families and exiled there. People were literally taken from their homes. They were shipped to this like isolated island or peninsula surrounded by the ocean. And because there was like no easy escape, some people described it as like a prison, and they were separated from their families forever. Children were taken from their parents. I did read, there was an article on, I think it was on history.com, like reading about the settlements, how fucked up they were, but then also inside, like the people with leprosy tried to make the most of it, and there were marriages between them, and like, you know, there were churches, and they would have softball games, and like they kind of made it sound like they made the best of it, but then if they were to get pregnant, the children were taken from them. And raised elsewhere. It's just fucked.
It's fucked up, but you also like kind of get it, because it's like somewhere like Hawaii, right? Like, okay, you could eradicate this entire island.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like thought process wise, like even if it's like not actually like this is like you see the thinking pattern.
I see, yes, like the ignorance to disease back then. Like we didn't know anything, you know, and we thought,
what do we even know now?
I know. That's true. Very true. There's also another like major famous leprosarium in the United States in Louisiana called the Carville Hospital, which became the only mainland leprosy hospital in the U.S. And one thing that I found really sad about that was that patients used fake names because just of how intense the stigma was. And then many people with leprosy were buried separately from the rest of society. There were specific cemeteries connected to leprosariums and hospitals and leper colonies all over Europe and beyond. Archaeologists have uncovered medieval leper cemeteries in England and like everywhere. They've uncovered them, and all the skeletal remains show like, oh, these people definitely had Hansen's disease. I read collapsed nasal bones, which I guess was part of it, and a lot of damage to hands and feet. And one very famous example of a cemetery was the St. Mary Magdalene Leprosy Hospital, which is the oldest known leprosarium in England. They found like thousands of skeletal remains with clear signs of Hansen's disease. And another leprosy cemetery that I'll leave you with was connected to that Carville Hospital. It's the Carville Cemetery in New Orleans. And NewOrleansHistorical.org says, quote, "Just beyond the cemetery is a hospital incinerator with a driving ramp and tower built in the 1920s to dispose of all waste. Remember that nothing was allowed to leave the grounds. This is the second patient cemetery and was established in 1922 by the federal government. About 750 patients are buried here. These stones were provided by the federal government and resemble markers you might see in a military cemetery. Each stone is engraved with a patient's hospital ID number and either their real or false name. Some patients purchase their own ornamental markers. In many cases, a patient chose to be buried using his Carville name to hide identity even in death. Several times a month, families come to Carville in search of a long-lost relative. In cases like this, the medical records department can make a positive identification by using old medical charts. The museum offers a schematic of the cemetery to help searching families locate a stone. So pretty sad, like because of the stigma using a false name, it's hard for families to even identify their loved ones. It's just such a fucked up.
That is sad.
I know. But I just can't get over having a living funeral because you have some kind of disease and then just being ostracized and pushed out to the outskirts of town and just having to live there. No fault of your own.
So then with like, in regards to like St. Patrick's Day, when this was tied in, like how did they find like the leprechauns? Like how did they find the pots of gold at the end of the rainbows?
Well,
where does that come in?
I think that are leprechauns lepers? Is that tied? Are you serious?
No, I'm just lying to you right now.
Girl.
I don't know. You have red hair. You tell me.
Oh, no, bitch. What the fuck?
Well, I wonder if any of them got living obituaries.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But we know they were pretty salacious when they found out that they were lepers, as we heard from that one obituary.
Yes.
But speaking of, it's time to get into some, and I have the obituary for the icon, the starlet, the diva with a drive, Miss Betty Broderick.
Yes, mama.
She has gone to be with Jesus. This is from keeper.com, which is kind of like a legacy, like obituary website. It says Betty Broderick was born Elizabeth Ann Bisceglia on November 7th, 1947 in Bronxville, New York, the third of 6 children in a devout Irish-Italian Catholic family. Her father, Frank, owned a plastering business, and her mother, Marita, raised the children with clear traditional expectations. Betty would one day be a devoted wife and mother. She attended Eastchester High School, graduating in 1965, and went on to the College of Mount St. Vincent in the Bronx, where she earned a degree in early childhood education with a minor in English. At 17, she met Daniel T. Broderick III at the University of Notre Dame. They married on April 12th of 1969 and embarked on what would become a life defined by sacrifice and ambition. His ambition fueled by her sacrifice. Betty worked and managed the household while Dan completed Cornell Medical School and Harvard Law School, and together they raised 4 children: Kimberly, Lee, Daniel Jr., and Rhett. By the early 1980s, Dan had become one of San Diego's most prominent medical malpractice attorneys, eventually serving as president of the San Diego Bar Association. They lived in the affluent enclave of La Jolla, where their social standing was the envy of many. The marriage began to collapse when Dan hired Linda Kilkenna as a legal assistant and began an affair that Betty discovered and that Dan initially denied. He filed for divorce in 1985 after 16 years of marriage, and what followed was a brutally contentious 4-year legal battle. Dan was awarded full custody and most of the couple's assets. Betty, left with a monthly support payment and a profound sense of betrayal, descended into escalating acts of harassment, profane answering machine messages, violations of restraining orders, and an act of vandalism that included driving her car into Dan's front door. On November 5th of 1989, Betty entered the Marston Hills home where Dan and Linda now lived as husband and wife and shot both of them as they slept. Linda Kilkenna Broderick died instantly. Daniel Broderick III died shortly after. Betty turned herself into the police that morning. Her first trial ended in a mistrial in 1990. A second jury convicted her in December of 1991 of 2 counts of second-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 32 years to life. In her years of imprisonment at the California Institution for Women, Betty found a degree of peace she said had eluded her in La Jolla. She published a memoir, Telling on Myself, in 2015 and maintained in contact with her children and grandchildren. She was denied parole in 2010 and 2017. In April of 2026, she was transferred to an outside medical facility. Betty Broderick died on May 8th of 2026 at age 78 from natural causes in a San Bernardino County prison medical facility. Rest in peace, girl.
Oh, Betty. I know. That's a complicated one.
It's complicated.
I think both of us.
Yeah.
Because we love her.
Love her, but she shouldn't have done that. But I also feel...
She's a danger to society. Absolutely should never have fucking done that. Violence is never the answer.
Never the answer.
I do think to have supported a man through college, not
Everything.
once, but twice, right?
Yep.
To have him go off and marry his fucking secretary,
lose the custody of your children, lose this lifestyle that you backed. That was built on her back.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm interested. I did a cult leader episode 6 years ago, one of my earliest episodes, and it's a 20-minute episode, so I'm sure it's just like it's
you
probably giving
revisited?
Wikipedia. No, so I'm working on it right now, and I'm actually reading the Telling on Myself memoir as we speak. And I don't know if I talked about it on here, but the timing of this is so weird because I just watched the 2-part series, the movie, made for television movies.
Yes.
And
did you watch the Amanda Peet one?
No.
You should watch that too. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think I started it, but nothing's going to do it like the 90s movies.
I know.
And her memoir is very telling, and people feel very strongly about this case. And I think back in the day, I was kind of like, oh, she's a murderer. She shouldn't have done that. She killed. But I'm like, I don't know necessarily like if she would have gotten out, if she would have ever hurt anyone else. I think she was just like, fuck you and fuck you for like to her husband and the mistress. And I'm sorry to call her that, but she is a mistress. She knew he was married. She knew what she was doing. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't deserve to be. Nobody deserves that.
Yeah.
But they did deserve the car through the front door at least.
At least.
I'll tell you that.
Come on, at least. Yeah.
If your husband cheats on you or starts having a fucking affair with the secretary
and tries to ruin you and goes around to every divorce attorney so that you can't have a fair divorce.
Legally, you should be able to drive your car into the front door.
Legally, I agree.
Not shoot them, but legally, you should be allowed to.
She's wrong for that. Should have never happened. I wish for her that but what are you going to do? She's a murderer. She absolutely deserves to die.
She was also crazy.
She was cuckoo bananas.
But she was at the end of her wits. I get it. If I was with a man, I had this lifestyle, and then all of a sudden it was stripped from me for another woman. Oh, I'm driving my car.
I guess what I'm trying to say is no party was innocent.
No. Agreed.
We're not sympathizers, murder sympathizers.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, at the end of the day, I think the kids were the ones that were affected by this. She took a father from his children, and you got to live with that. Well, I guess not anymore. Not as of May 8th, but
yeah.
Rest in peace, girl. You created headlines.
You did that. You sure did.
You made a name for yourself, sweetheart.
Sweetheart, you sure did. They weren't remembering his name. They were remembering yours.
Yeah. And that creepo, Stephen Collins, plays Dan Broderick in the movies.
Yes.
Which is a little ironic.
I know. What a creep.
All
right. Well, I have an obituary from 1900, the Cleveland Press. It says, 10 years in a hut. Philadelphia's lone leper is dead. Philadelphia, May 10th. John Anderson, Philadelphia's leper, is dead. For 10 years, he had lived alone in a rude wooden hut on the County Elms House property and died sometime Tuesday night. His only visitors have been scientific men who have watched the progress of the disease. A little wicket was made in the door to the hut, and through this his food was given to him daily by a keeper, who was on watch all the time, lest he escape. The body will be cremated.
Oh my God.
This is how they treated lepers, dude.
Really not good.
Not at all. So
not
fucked
good.
up.
Damn. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace.
But also interesting that both of those people were cremated, which was not as, on brand for the time.
I thought the same exact thing. I know.
Yeah.
All of them say cremated.
Yeah.
So.
Conspiracy? Was this spread by the Cremation Society?
Conspiracy.
Could be. All right. Well, I know what's not a conspiracy. We have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
That means it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. I love mine. From Florida, believe it or not.
Okay.
Okay, this is fucked up.
What?
This is from NBC News. Florida woman arrested and accused of kicking a kid at youth football game during on-field brawl.
Okay.
Quote, a Florida woman was taken into custody on suspicion of kicking a boy at a youth football game during an on-field brawl and then claiming she had no choice because the kid hit me first.
Well.
Renee Lynn Lambert, 34, was booked on suspicion of cruelty to a child without great bodily harm and resisting an officer, according to a Lee County Sheriff's arrest report. Deputies responded to the game at Brooks Park in Fort Myers on Saturday after they became aware of a large brawl located in the middle of the field, Sheriff's Detective Nicholas Cittadino said in an arrest report. Parents ran onto the field to intervene, and a witness reported seeing a woman repeatedly kicking a juvenile male, the report said. Witnesses quickly identified a white female who was leaving the area to have been a suspect of battery on a juvenile, according to the report. Lambert claimed she was hit first, and she asked deputies, like, girl, why were you on the field?
I know.
This is a child's game.
But parents and shit get really
crazy.
Worked up. Yeah.
And she asked deputies why they were questioning her and not the offending player. But, like, he's probably having a Capri Sun. He's like,
and orange slices.
Like, I just got my ass kicked. Damn. She said, so are you mad at them for hitting me? Oh. Lambert appeared to ask the deputies. I'm mad at an adult for attacking a kid, a male voice from behind the body camera lens responded.
Damn.
Stop. You're detained right now. No, I'm not. Goodbye, responded the suspect dressed in a football jersey. She's ready to play. Get your hands off me, she said. I'm the one who got hit. At least one witness, identified as Andre Valdez, backed up a player's allegation that he was on the ground when Lambert kicked him in the leg. You are being pointed out as a suspect. You are detained, the voice said as Lambert and the deputies began to scruffle. Lambert appeared to identify her attacker as a player wearing number 9 jersey. So where's number 9? Go get number 9, Lambert said during the scuffle with law enforcement. She was led away in handcuffs as she still argued with deputies. She's detained because they said you hit a kid, the male voice said. And the kid hit me, she responded. Lambert could not be immediately reached for comment. Publicly listed phone numbers and email addresses associated with her. Girl, those parents do get so fucking crazy.
I know.
Sometimes where you're like, this is a child's game. But then I've seen, it reminded me, there was this TikTok going around and it was a mom being like, this is what it's like to be the mom of a baseball player, and she's like filmed herself like walking around like like all stressed out, and they were like, and then meanwhile the child is playing t-ball or whatever, and you're just like,
they take it. Yeah.
Well, it's like anyone who makes their partner's job their personality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where you're like, please just don't. Or you see like those army moms or army wives will go at it sometimes and they'll be like, you are to respect me and call my husband's a lieutenant, and it's like, girl,
fully. Or it's
please.
like on like body cam footage, like I love watching people get pulled over and they like pull out a card, like,
or like, my husband's state attorney.
Oh yeah, or like my family, I have a sheriff in my family, and they're like, okay, we don't fucking care, that's not gonna get you anything, like.
No.
Maybe before body cams, but now.
Yeah, girl, I was gonna say before body cams, if you did know the cops in town, or you know someone from the fire department, or something, you'd be like,
or if you pulled your shirt down a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I'd give him a little woo woo.
Oh God, well I love that one. I had a little trouble finding one this week. I just was searching. Couldn't find a good one. Really couldn't find a good one. I think it's just all the hantavirus stuff took over. But I did find one from 2024, and I said, Spencer will like this because Spencer is a big country fan.
Uh-huh.
And this is from kgns.tv. And I didn't know this. It says country star Winona Judd's daughter was arrested after she allegedly exposed herself on a busy highway in Alabama. According to court documents, 27-year-old Grace Kelly was in the middle of a busy intersection on I-65 and Highway 1 when she exposed her breasts and lower body.
Wait, here?
This was in Alabama.
Oh, okay. Well, we have the 65.
Okay, but we'll get to Tennessee. When officers tried to arrest her, she wouldn't identify herself and refused to comply. She was eventually arrested and charged with indecent exposure and obstructing governmental operations. Her bond was set at $1,000. In 2017, she was arrested in Tennessee for making, selling, and distributing methamphetamine, and then leaving a court-mandated drug recovery program early. Her first court date is set for April 11th, and we'll put her mugshot. It's wild, and it just goes to show, like, fame and fortune, doesn't always solve everything.
They've had their troubles. Okay, I need you to look at the timestamp on this. This is from today.
Oh my God.
11/12. I literally have a screenshot of... I show it up there. The Judds, because I was listening to them, and
I was literally thinking of you.
You know my sister's friend Chelsea?
Uh-huh.
Well, I screenshotted. I love that song. I was on like a 80s country playlist or whatever. But my sister's friend Chelsea and I, one time when we were younger, we were out at we went to a concert in San Jose, and we had gone to this bar after, I think, just to like hang out.
Uh-huh.
And this man came up to her and was like, "You've got the smile of a Judd."
Oh, baby.
That was his pickup line. So now whenever I see them, I think of her and I always send her things. But crazy.
You know, one of my favorite movies has a Judd in it is Double Jeopardy.
Oh.
Ashley Judd.
One of the best movies of all time.
Remember she's in the coffin?
Have we ever... I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
Have we not?
That is one of my favorite movies.
Really? It's one of mine too.
One of the best Friday nights of my life was like probably middle school era.
Yes.
And I went and got Chipotle when Chipotle was good.
When it was like first.
When it was like good and everything was fresh.
Yes.
The chips had salt and lime rinds in them and shit.
Couldn't believe how good it was. How big the burritos were. How
the
yummy.
Salsas were all fresher. Everything just tasted good.
Yes.
I was sitting in my room eating a good burrito and chips and salsa from Chipotle. My mouth was watering, but it doesn't matter because I'm not going to get it because it won't hit the same.
Yeah.
But it was like a good Friday night sitting there eating it, watching that movie in my room. And I feel like that was
the feeling
so
of a Friday
good.
night.
Oh. I still get a Friday night feeling.
Yeah.
I love a Friday night. Well, honestly, I think that's like also we're always in a good mood on Thursday because after recording on Thursday, today's our Friday.
Yeah.
Schedule wise. So it's fun.
I know.
So happy Friday. TGI.
Happy Friday.
Thank God it's Thursday, as we say over here.
Teach it.
But, you guys go listen to Gossip Spreadle.
Oh my God, I know. We're having so much fun over there, letting loose.
Uh-huh. Also, Cult Leader has been releasing slappers lately. I'm going to say that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm going to say the Wade Wilson episode is great.
He's
fantastic.
A fucking asshole freak.
Oh my God.
Hate him.
Yeah, hate him.
But great episode.
All right. And that is, I think, it for now. But we'll see you next week for some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And dumb
ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.